Have you ever driven late at night on a deserted road? No streetlights, no houses, no voices, where the only sounds are your engine and the growing fear inside your chest. Have you ever felt like something was watching you from the edge of the trees? Noticed a pair of headlights behind you, only to find they vanish every time you try to really look? What if I told you, we're not always alone on the road at night? Tonight, you're going to hear 3 real stories, or at least, that's what the survivors swear to. 3 accounts of people who came face to face with the impossible on what should have been just an ordinary drive. Stories where the road became a nightmare, the rear-view mirror a death sentence, and the steering wheel their only hope. These are for those brave enough to drive under darkness, for anyone who's ever wondered what else might be out there, beyond just you. If you've ever seen something you can't explain on a lonely road, drop your story in the comments. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share this video with a friend who loves night drives. Maybe, just maybe, they'll think twice before heading out after dark. Now turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and take a deep breath, because what's coming next isn't just a story, it's a warning. My name is Caleb Monroe. I'm 28 years old and live just outside Elkins, West Virginia, one of those small towns where time seems to crawl and the forest always feels just a bit too close. It was a Friday night and I was driving for a food delivery app to pick up some extra cash. Nothing out of the ordinary until that order popped up. The total was $84 with a $25 tip already prepaid, plus more promised in cash upon delivery. The customer's name was listed as A-Lawn, and the drop-off address was County Road 17, way out past town near the protected forest. That was a 40-minute drive into nowhere. Still, $25 was hard to refuse. I grabbed the order from a Mexican restaurant downtown. As I waited, I asked the staff if they recognized A-Lawn. They said the name sounded familiar, but nobody had met them in person. When I pulled out, the night was pitch black. No moon, just an ominous sky. That thick, stifling kind of darkness that warns you something isn't right. As I left Elkins's streetlights behind, the GPS started to flicker. Weak signal. Expected out here. The road switched from pavement to gravel, flanked by trees that towered close, forming a dark wooden tunnel. 30 minutes passed, and I was still surrounded by nothing. No signs, no houses, no signs of life. It was just my headlights piercing the gloom. That's when I noticed something odd on the road. Scratches. They were shallow but deliberate, circular grooves carved into the asphalt, chaotic yet organized, like a symbol drawn by something heavy dragging across it. I slowed down. The woods were unnervingly silent. Then I realized all the mechanical noise from my car was muted. The engine, the tires, everything sounded like it was muffled through thick fog. My phone buzzed. No signal. The GPS froze. The screen went dark. I focused on the road. It was straight, no unknown turns. I'd starred the destination. No need to panic. But something in me knew. Then, something crossed the road. It didn't walk, didn't run, didn't fly. It glided. A gray, deer-sized silhouette, but unnaturally thin, like skin stretched over bones. A long snout, glowing red eyes burning in the darkness. It slipped into the underbrush opposite. I didn't stop or get out. I just gripped the wheel, hunched in my seat, hoping whatever it was had moved on. Checked the side road. Nothing. Shadowed darkness swallowed it whole. I restarted the car. The engine felt heavy to turn over. The air in the cabin seemed thick, suffocating. I didn't know why, but I was sure I had a tail. I drove on, senses sharp. Every shadow loomed. Each sound startled me. Even my car's routine hum felt like a ticking clock. Then my headlights illuminated something strange ahead. Across the road between two trees was a black cord, like a clothesline stretched low. Hanging from it was a bronze bell, a rusted antique shop doorbell, small and worn. Below the bell hung a twisted straw talisman shaped into a crude cross, as if handcrafted in haste. I slowed uneasy. This wasn't decoration, it was an omen. I carefully swerved around the roadside display. Then the bell moved, soft and sudden. No breeze. 3 slow clangs. A metal ring echoed through the night as it tolled. I froze. The rearview mirror flickered. Something appeared there for a split second. A shadow on the back seat. I turned my head. Nobody was there, just empty upholstery and the echo of that bell, now reverberating deep inside my head. I tightened my grip and kept going. I knew the address by number, 1147 County Road 17, even without GPS. Every mile felt longer, the forest crawling closer. Ahead was the gate, a broken wooden barrier and an old metal plaque, 1147, rusted and nearly faded. Past it, a narrow gravel driveway wound into a field of tall, dead corn stalks, like walls of a living maze. I felt dread suffocating me, but I parked anyway, grabbed the food bag. Twice, I honked the horn. No response. Dim light spilled from the porch. The door was ajar, welcoming, impossibly so. I climbed out. Each step on gravel echoed like a drumbeat in the night. Wind didn't move the leaves, but I sensed movement. A whisper from the cornfield. Caleb. Soft, drawn, disembodied, and chilling. I froze. My name wasn't on the app. No one out here should know it. Then I saw them. 2 glowing red dots at the cornfield's edge. Everything froze. Even the night air felt thick. I was steps from the front porch with the food bag still in hand when I heard it again. Louder, closer. Caleb. A warped imitation of my name, like someone reading it off a bad recording. I stumbled back and scanned the cornfield. That voice, if it was someone, they were insane, but then I saw it. Her silhouette emerging between the stalks. Tall, thin, bent. Ash-gray skin gleaming under my headlights like wet leather. Arms too long, dangling almost to its knees. A bald, stretched head. That snout, those bright amber coals for eyes. And around its neck, the straw cross from the roadside. It took a step forward. Every stalk around it bowed away as if recoiling. Panic boiled into me. I dropped the delivery bag and ran, dropped the car keys in the gravel as I did. Behind me, the scrape of claws on earth, loose and skeletal. I dove into the driver's seat, slammed the door, locked it, turned the key. Headlights blazed. When I looked forward, it stood there. No movement, a few feet away, staring. Its mouth opened slowly, agonizingly. I heard a dry crack, then a wheezing animal-like groan, and then bells. Uncountable bells. Hung everywhere, trees, fence posts, even corn leaves, tinkling in surreal harmony. At its edge, more silhouettes emerged, smaller, growing to its height. Their red eyes glimmered. I was surrounded. They didn't move closer. They just watched, waiting. The thing raised a long arm, extending a single finger, pointing at the road, as if telling me to go. I didn't hesitate. I threw the car in reverse, fishtailed back onto the gravel road and floored it. The engine roared, tires squealed, my heart pounded. I drove recklessly, turning corners I didn't recognize, skipping potholes I usually avoided. The miles felt infinite, like the road looped back on itself. Dashboard, 10:11 p.m., but it felt like hours. Then I saw it again, that scratched circle symbol on the asphalt. The roadside bell, the straw cross, this time on my windshield. I hit the brakes. Dirt misted behind me. I yanked the cross off the glass. Rough woven straw and human hair. Dark, damp. Twisted around the fibers, I gripped it tightly. The hair prickled in my palm, freezing cold. My headlights revealed the house again. Porch light. Door cracked open exactly as before. My stomach reeled. I realized I was trapped until I completed the delivery. Stepping out, gravel crunching underfoot, felt like knuckles cracking. Inside was empty. Dust hung thick in shafts of light, covered furniture collecting ages of neglect. My eyes landed on a photo display, framed black and white portraits. Every face was mutilated, holes where eyes should be, and where eyes were missing, no straw crosses had been affixed. One photo was recent, a smiling delivery driver wearing my own uniform. Carved beneath it, accepted the cross. I gasped. This wasn't delivery. This was ritual. I was next. Tears burned on my cheeks. My rational mind screamed, "It's wrong, it can't be real." But the house, the smell of straw and hair, said otherwise. Suddenly I heard it, metallic clicks from outside, a chorus of clanging bells. 6 silhouettes emerged, looming at the edge of the headlights. Tall and dark like sentinels, each step brought them closer, their bells ringing in mournful pattern, synchronized. I looked at the roadside cross again, grabbed it, tore the photo frame, scattering shards in the wind. I would not accept their fate. 3 silhouettes moved left, 3 right, circling me. Bells chimed. Their shadows twisted across the ground. I realized then they weren't alive. They were echoes of who had come before. They surrounded me to mark me, to claim me. I jumped in the car, locked the doors, and slammed the accelerator. Headlights flared, engine popped. The silhouette stepped into the beam, crossing in front of me, bells chiming each time they passed across the light. My chest seized. Wheel trembled. Then, mid-corner, the cell signal icon blinked. GPS came back online. The road reappeared ahead. The house, the symbols, they vanished off the map. My rearview mirror, I didn't look. I drove straight back to US 33 and onward to Elkins. I still keep that cross, wedged under my mattress. A reminder that I almost became part of the ritual. I never completed the delivery. No tip, nothing. But I survived. They still walk with their headlights.
If you made it through this story, click the link below to discover even deeper horrors in our exclusive ebook.
My name is Lucas Mendez, I'm 32 years old, and I drive rideshare in a small town near Whispering Pines, a name that already feels like a whisper when the wind rustles those old pines. It was a rainy Thursday, just after 10 p.m., when I accepted a ride with a $30 cash-only payment to a point-off route, a remote spot locals called the Fog Crossing, a side road, unlit, lined by ancient pines. The passenger, a woman named Sarah, got in silently. She wore a heavy coat and spoke little. She pointed down a dirt path. As we drove away, the air grew humid, heavy. Soon, GPS signal dropped. I glanced back to reassure her, but she just stared tensely out her window. When we reached the dirt road, she said,
"Stop here."
I froze. My headlights barely lit the curve ahead. The fog clung to the hood, creeping like cold fingers. She got out. No goodbye, no acknowledgement. I watched until the taillights vanished in the mist. I turned the key. The engine gurgled, but the car didn't start. My phone had no signal, my heart pounded. Then I heard it. A whisper, hushed, drawn out. From ahead, down the road.
Lucas.
My name. In the rain-soaked dark. I stomped the brake instinctively. The driver's door creaked open. The fog rolled inside, icy as metal. I glanced in the rearview mirror. She's gone. But the fog, it was still there, slithering around the car. That moment I stared past the windshield and saw them. Footprints, deep, heavy boot treads, yet twisted, impossible. The radio crackled to life with distortion.
Go back.
Instinct took over. I put it in reverse and fled. I didn't look back, I just drove. The next day I tried to rationalize everything. Sleep deprivation, stress, maybe even chemicals in the forest air. But deep down I knew it was real. The footprints, the whisper, the cold, the smile without a face. That wasn't imagination. For a week, I avoided rides near Whispering Pines. I'd cancel any passenger wanting to go in that direction. Money wasn't worth it. Then, on a Friday night, it happened again. A passenger named Evan requested a ride to a farmhouse in the same area. He offered $50 cash up front. The road, Riverview Hollow, a parallel shortcut to Fog Crossing. I should have declined, but I accepted. Evan sat silent, glancing anxiously around. Finally, he said,
I want to get there before the fog.
"The fog?"
Everyone around here knows. Some folks who go out after dark never come back.
His words echoed in my memory. Her smile, the whisper. My instinct screamed. We reached the edge of Riverview Hollow. Fog curled between trees like live vines. Evan got out and vanished into the mist. I looked in the back seat, empty, locked. No door opened. Then I noticed them. Fresh footprints in the dust right beside the car. Then I heard it. Footsteps on soggy wood. First distant, then close. Through the rear view, I saw a figure, tall, wide-shouldered, dark, mud-like skin, slow, gliding footsteps, as if it floated above the ground. Yet the footprints proved otherwise. I floored the accelerator. The road twisted unnaturally. I drove for minutes, maybe hours, in circles. Finally, I saw a sign. Welcome to Elmdale. A return to civilization, but not safety. In the passenger seat was a wet rope, knotted like the one on Evan's farmhouse gate. On the windshield, scribbled in foggy breath, "She knows." After that night, small but unsettling things began happening. When I drove after dark, something was off. The dashboard flickered. The radio switched to static-laced channels. But worst of all, my headlight. It started toggling high beam on its own. Then the beam widened unnaturally. Shadows moved in the glare. Human shapes or shadows resembling humans. One morning, parked under a tree, I woke to find the left headlight fully lit, even though I turned it off. In the dust under the hood, moist footprints led up to the windshield, then vanished. I reviewed my phone video, left recording by accident. At 3:12 a.m., I saw a dark form standing before the car, not reflected in the glass, yet the headlight turned on as if triggered. The creature moved closer. The camera shook. For 2 seconds, I saw it. 2 eyes inside the headlight housing itself. Someone, or something, staring from within. I stopped driving at night, changed shifts, but it was futile. Next Tuesday, a ride request popped up. To Elkins, same direction as the cursed roads. I refused. But the app accepted it automatically, as if touched by something unseen. The passenger name, Sarah, same name as the fog woman. Terrified, I checked the car before cancelling. That's when I noticed. The right headlight was cracked, from the inside out. When I caught my reflection in the side window. For a mother second, I saw someone sitting behind me, Evan or its mimic, hollow eyes, and the same faceless vertical smile mask. I turned and the seat was empty, yet the smell lingered, wet earth and rusted metal. And then when the radio turned itself on, silent, but for static, then I heard her voice.
Lucas, you shouldn't have come back.
The headlight flickered. The battery died. A cold feeling rose from beneath the seat as if something was climbing from under the car to join me. The seat chilled. The steering wheel trembled. And just for a moment, I saw a face behind the cracked headlight. It was mine, but the eyes weren't. I wanted to sell that car, any car, but a deeper instinct kept me from letting it go. It felt like something whispered in my bones. You can't run away. You carry it within you. The crack in the right headlight only grew. I replaced it twice. Each morning it returned, along with faint handprints on the inside of the glass. One night after grocery pickup at a 24-hour store, I parked under fluorescent lights. I locked the car with the fob. I heard it click. Climbing the stairs to my apartment, I felt weight, something inside me urging return. So I descended again, to find the interior light on. But I had locked it. When I opened the door, my heart froze. The car started all on its own. I hadn't pressed anything. The key was in my pocket. The dash lit up with a blinking cursor on a blank white screen. Words appeared, letter by letter. "This is not the car. It is you!" The windows rolled up, the doors locked. The radio and headlights flickered. The dash beeped endlessly. And then a voice, distant and hissed from the speaker.
You brought her back. They saw. They're coming.
The screen displayed a map, Whispering Pines, but in reverse orientation. At its end, a red X, Heart of the Void. I tried to open the doors. Nothing. Turn off the engine. Nothing. Then she appeared, in the passenger seat, rising from material. Sarah, but grotesque. Face melting, pupil-less black eyes, and a vertical slash for a mouth. She spoke wordlessly, but I heard it glass shatter accents in my head.
He will be reborn. With your eyes. With your voice.
Then she pointed at the cracked headlight. I glanced over. My own reflection in the glass grinned. I screamed, and the engine died. Lights died. The doors unlocked. She was gone. But the key was still in my pocket. The next night, everything changed. I was determined to confront the message on the dash, Heart of the Void. So I returned to Whispering Pines, took only a flashlight, my phone, and what was left of my nerve. At 2:37 a.m., I stepped out at the Riverview Hollow junction. Fog lay thick on the road, a living shroud. I parked and walked. Every footstep echoed like a death knell inside a cathedral of stone. The pine trunks twisted in silhouette. The forest exhaled. Then I heard them, whispers, a chorus of voices layered over each other.
He is here.
The bearer returned.
The reflection will break through.
My courage frayed, but I pressed on for nearly a mile, until I reached a hidden clearing unmarked on any map. In the center stood an ancient stone archway, moss-covered, etched with symbols I couldn't decipher. Beneath it, a mirror. But the mirror didn't reflect the woods. It showed a dark hallway lined with closed doors. I approached, peered in, and saw my face, eyes as black as the void, pupils nothing but infinite darkness. A grin, vertical and unnatural. And then I heard it, not with ears, but in my mind.
You opened us. You brought us back.
The earth trembled. The forest screamed. Then, blackness. When I came to, I was back in my car. The radio played a 1940s song, key in ignition, engine off. But the rearview mirror was scrawled inside with the same runes from the stone arch. And in the cracked headlight, two eyes stared at me. Stared. They're still inside me. Now, maybe I'm just the vessel. Sometimes, during rainy midnight drives, passing motorists glimpse my face waving from the side window, even though I'm parked, even though I'm alone. Conclusion. If you've read this far, they've already seen you, they know your name. Don't stare too long at your car's headlights at night, and never ever look into the rearview mirror at 3 a.m. They might already be waiting on the other end. My name is Eric Dawson. I'm 26 years old. And until recently, I worked as a nighttime auto parts delivery driver in the mountain region near Flagstaff, Arizona. It was a steady gig. Company-covered gas, $22 an hour, plus occasional tips from polite customers. But that January night, No amount of money would have convinced me to leave home if I'd known what was waiting. The job was to deliver a pickup truck battery to a store about 20 minutes out of town. The route, State Route 89A, a tight road winding through pine forests on steep slopes. It was 12:15 a.m. when I loaded the battery and pulled out. The radio played a static-filled country station, and the fog hugged the mountain curves under the headlights. Everything felt calm until halfway through the drive. Then I saw something lying on the shoulder, a blood-stained jacket with no one around. I slowed down and scanned the dark trees. Suddenly, something moved ahead. At first I thought it was a deer, but it wasn't an animal. It was a man. He was walking backwards in the middle of the road, shirtless, pale skin under the headlights. I honked. I thought he must be hurt. Nothing. Honked again. Then he spun around and somehow ran on all fours straight at me. It happened so fast I barely reacted. I jerked the wheel and fishtailed around the curve. Then I heard it. A metallic clack. Something heavy landing on my hood. The weight was right there on my car. I couldn't see his face, just felt the hood dip under his weight and headlights waver as he scratched the glass, like someone drawing with sharp nails. I floored it, hoping he'd fall off. Speed jumped. 70, 80 miles per hour. Still there. Then in the rearview mirror, I saw two glowing red eyes. They didn't shine, they burned. And a mouth stretched so wide, it looked like the skull was cracked in half. I slammed the brakes. The car fishtailed and he tumbled off the hood, rolling across the pavement. I jumped out to see if he was gone. He wasn't. No blood, no footprints, nothing. Except the blood-stained jacket, now neatly folded, laying on my hood. I jumped back in, started the engine, and thanked God he wasn't there. I delivered the battery to a middle-aged guy at the store. When he saw me, he blanched.
"You made it through, didn't you?"
He said. I chuckled, not sure what he meant. "Through what?" I asked. He hesitated, then replied,
"Ever heard of the Hood Man?"
He said it was local legend, a drifter who died in a wreck on that very stretch 30 years ago. Since then, people say he appears exactly at midnight, trying to climb onto your car, to finish a journey he never did. I almost laughed. Almost. Then he pointed at my windshield and said,
"Anyone who sees him again, and again, until..."
He didn't finish, just stared at my windshield. I looked too. Under the glass, spelled out in greasy fingerprints, were the words, "Take me to the end." After that night, things spiraled. Every time I drove at night, the hood was scarred, scratches, dents, even boot prints. Always the same greasy message, "To the end." One evening, exhausted, I decided to face it. I followed the road to where it ends, a dirt path leading into the Oak Creek Canyon Gorge. Suddenly, the truck just shut off by itself. In the rear view, I saw him standing and grinning. This time, his grin revealed too many teeth, long, dark, and stretching ear to ear. He climbed on the hood again, pressed his face to the windshield and whispered, outside the glass, "Now you know where to drop me." Oh. I went back to Flagstaff the next morning, quits the job, sold the truck, moved apartments. But it's useless. He's not in the truck. He's inside me. Now sometimes when I'm lost in thought, I hear footsteps on the roof of my new car. I wake to the sound of claws scraping against my bedroom window. And the worst part? This week I got a message from the delivery app, a single request. Client name, Eric, destination, end of Route 89A. Pay $66.60. Then I heard it again, not a notification ping. That metallic, impossible sound. Clack, like he just climbed back onto my hood. Let me know if you'd like any tweaks, or if you're ready, I can dive into the third and final story. These were the 3 stories that turned simple night drives into encounters with the unexplainable. Each driver left home expecting just another ride. But the night, dear viewer, has plans of its own. When the shadows stretch long and the road grows empty, the impossible stops being theory and climbs into the back seat. Now I ask you, which of these stories chilled you the most? Ever had something similar happen on a late-night drive? Tell us in the comments, and be careful. Your story might be the next one we tell. And before you go, a sinister warning. In the pinned comment, you'll find the link to our exclusive ebook, filled with stories that have never aired on the channel. Accounts so dark some begged us not to publish them, but they're there, waiting. Click now, if you dare. Good luck out there tonight, and be careful what gets into your car.